I'm Ashton Addison from BlockWest Capital for Investment Pitch Media and the Crypto Coin Show. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Gabriela Chang and Jori Armbruster from EthicHub. Welcome, both of you, to the show. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on, and I'm really looking forward to speaking today.
Thank you, Ashton. Nice to meet you, and thank you for inviting us here.
You're very welcome. I know there's a lot of initiatives to try and plug DeFi and blockchain into the real world so we can actually help people better their lives, and especially people that aren't familiar with blockchain and cryptocurrency yet, bringing this beautiful technology to them. I know EthicHub is working on a lot of initiatives like that. I would love, Gabriela, if you could start by just giving an overview of what is EthicHub and what are the solutions that you're driving into the real world, and then we can dive into those details.
Thank you. EthicHub is a DeFi protocol to secure lending for sustainable impact. That is solving maybe the biggest problem of the current financial system that left out almost a quarter of the world population. So we believe blockchain has the ability to mend this terrible dysfunction. And what we do is connect economic regions to benefit both by interacting. Like anyone can lend these small farmers money to increase their productivity and raise their income and their living standard through their own productivity. And parallel to this, we also provide the warranties, the collateral to secure those that lending, so the investors feel secure when investing in these farmers, like connecting people to generate wealth for both.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Great intro, Gabriela. And yeah, you're right. There's a lot of people in developing nations and small farmers, as you mentioned there, especially, that just don't have access to the traditional financial system. And even if they do, it's an antiquated system that just isn't working very well for them. So that for them to get the capital they need to grow their businesses or even just to sustain life and live. And I would love to hear a little bit more about that. Are you guys specifically targeting farmers in specific regions, or really how did this come about?
So we started with coffee in Mexico because this is what we really know. We both have a history behind coffee, and we both are half Mexican. And we are targeting farmers because at the end, most of these excluded from the traditional financial system, the so-called unbanked, are farmers, smallholder farmers in developing economies. And we are targeting coffee not only because we know about coffee, but also because in coffee and cocoa is where are two markets that are predominant for smallholder farmers.
Mm. Okay, great. And how long has your team been working on this now?
We started like an idea in 2017. We had a small pre-sale in 2018. We launched the MVP by mid-2018, far before DeFi was a thing. And in 2020, we released the ETHIX, and today the system is like 25 times collateralized with the compensation system made with ETHIX. And now you can lend not only to these smallholder farmers in Mexico, but also in Honduras and Brazil.
Wow, very cool. And that I feel like that's a great place to start. And there's two sides of this that I sort of want to dive into a little bit more. There's the farmers side, and then there's the investors. So let's just say that I was a farmer in Mexico with a coffee plantation, and I needed capital to start growing my business. How does that work, approaching EthicHub and getting capital?
Well, it's not like starting a business. We are providing working capital to a very safe activity. These people are experts producing coffee, but they don't have the money, because if you have a harvest that goes once a year, you need to borrow to eat, to tend your lands. So you need to ask for money. And if the only money you find, it's of 100% interest. When you sell the coffee, you pay back the debt, and then you have money to live 1-2 months, and then you have to borrow again. That's called the poverty cycle. So what happened? We are breaking this poverty cycle by injecting affordable money. The farmers get in contact with what we call a loan originator that helps them organize and validates that the money that's going to be lent is going to be used in productive activities. That is almost zero risk, because you are injecting money into something that was already productive. You are not taking risk like entrepreneurship or something.
Who are these loan originators? This could normally is cooperatives, or could be distributors of fertilizers, or could be traders buying the coffee of these farmers and exporting. Whoever who has is an actor in the value chain and works directly with the farmers with a positive business model for these farmers is able to ask for a loan in EthicHub. And then there has to be a due diligence. We are the first auditor looking for new loan originators and providing auditing, and we stake our own ethics as collateral for these loan originators that we made the audit for the due diligence. But now we are speaking with new potential loan auditors that will bring many more loan originators into the system.
Very cool. And yeah, great to differentiate, explain that better, that these aren't high risk loans for people that don't know what they're doing with a low chance of paying them back. This is for established, business people that already have businesses, but just because of the financial system, they don't have access to that capital. So it sounds a lot more efficient than entrepreneurship is definitely risky in trying to get the capital back if there's a chance that the business is going to fail. So thank you for clarifying that.
I would like to point out, Ashton, that the perceived risk is way higher than the real one. After more than 3 years working with these farmers and lending them over $1.5 million, the default rate is less than 1%.
Wow.
It's very safe to work with them. But additionally, to reduce this perception of risk, we develop our crowd collateral for crowd lending. So the investors are no longer in risk. Even this 1% is covered by our compensation system. I think that's the huge innovation with it. First, we start pioneer using blockchain to finance these small farmers. And now we are pioneers providing a collateral.
Very cool. Okay, that's great to know. And yeah, I want to know more about on this investor side. You mentioned that there's a compensation pool, it's over collateralized, and there's also the ETHIX token that's involved in that. Maybe you could explain that a little bit more in terms of how the investors are getting involved.
Yeah, so basically we have like two kind of investors: the low risk, low return, 8% that provide the loans to the farmers, and is very secure because there are other more savvy risk investors who buy the ETHIX and stake on behalf of the farmers, providing collateral for the farmers. So if there is a default, these guys are taking the risk. And up to date, there was 1% default and was 100% compensated by the compensation system. But previous to the stake from the EthicHubbers, it is the stake of the own loan originator. He has to have some skin in the game. And we, as an auditor, have to have also skin in the game. So our ethics were sold, not them. Their ethics are only sold when there is not enough with the loan originator and our ethics.
Okay, good to know. Well, it sounds like so far you're making an incredible impact in these farmers and in business people that are needing capital. What is the trajectory moving forward with EthicHub? Are you just continuing to do the same and get more loans out while also collecting more from investors to have that pool of capital? Or are you also expanding in other ways?
For sure, we are starting to scale, looking for new loan originators, looking for new auditors so they can bring new loan originators. We are also starting to grow into the lending side, no? So we have more and more investors. We have more than 1,500 already, and this is growing. And in the long term or medium term, what we want to become is kind of gamifying this system, no? That so
kind of a farm bill, a real life farm bill, where you invest into the farmers and you buy them tractors and lands and you help them and you compete and you play to improve the world. That's our vision. That's our dream.
Very cool. And I know you've already been working on this, as you mentioned, for almost 5 years in 2017. 5 years from now, where do you see EthicHub?
I wish that we are already impacting millions of smallholder farmers, and the ETHIX is already in the top 100 at least of the current market cap. No?
But especially, I think we would love to set the reference that it's possible to use this amazing tool that is blockchain to improve the world, to make a better living for everyone, and to make a balance between the opportunities to invest and the opportunities to get access to the economy, to the general economy. So if we prove it can be done in a major scale, then others will follow. And I think that's our goal, to attract more people into using blockchain for good.
That's great to hear, Gabriela. And on the flip side of that as well, I feel like there would be some technical barriers perhaps for farmers, or maybe there's other obstacles that you would need to overcome to grow exponentially. What kind of obstacles do you foresee as you continue to grow into the same space?
Well, we don't interact directly with the farmers, so technology is not a problem because they understand money comes from internet and they receive it in cash, because there is this, as Jori explained it, this figure, which is the originator, and this entity interacts with the smart contracts, not the farmers. So we make that easy because precisely we are working with the base of the pyramid, and quite often they don't have connectivity or other means to access directly the platform. So that wouldn't be a problem. Our main challenge, I would say, is credibility, is to prove what we are doing is scalable. So we are right now in our seed round, precisely to scale. We already got the collaboration of the BID Lab, the IDB Lab, the Inter-American Development Bank. And so with this seed round we are doing now, we are growing the metrics to prove this can be scalable. And that means being scalable in loan originator, in investors, and in stakers. So we need to prove this can grow on the 3 legs, as we call it. I think that's the main challenge right now. Definitely. But we are confident we are going to do it, as we did already more difficult part. Imagine in 2018, trying to explain EthicHub to impact investors who thought Bitcoin was something weird, to say the least. So we are used to overcome difficulties when innovating. So we are comfortable with that.
Definitely, yeah. Let's hope that the hardest part is behind you guys. But
yes.
we will see. Great. And so right now, as you continue to grow out, are you just looking for, you mentioned that you have the seed round there for more investors, but also more farmers and also more people to put into the pool. Is there anything else that you guys are needing for growth?
Of course, at the end, we need a lot of support from media and influencers to make the project known. No? At the end, this is very difficult to communicate what we are doing, and we need a lot of help in this regard.
We've been focused on developing the solution, and now we need to spread word of it. All of this time, we are barely spending marketing because we've been focused on developing. We have our own Ethereum developers team, so we are quite reinforcing that way. But we need to open the solution we already did and communicate to the rest of the world. So in that sense, we are very happy with being here with you and have the chance for more people to listen about this. So we invite them all to take a look and see what other things are going on with blockchain and development.
Definitely. Yeah, and for those viewers and for any parties that could be interested or could benefit from EthicHub, what is the best way for them to learn more and to reach out and get involved?
So you can go to our webpage. There is a lot of information directly over there. You can follow us on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, and more specifically, you can join EthicHub Telegram. In Telegram, we are very
Active,
supportive. No, whatever question you have, in less than 1 hour, you are answered for sure.
So, but everything can be reached from our webpage. It's ethichub.com. So we invite them all to visit there. And there you can find information regarding the ethics, the impact, and for now, the coffee the farmers are producing. Because we are not only financing them, but also opening markets for the harvest. So they benefit from lower rates and higher prices. We think we need to rethink the supply chain because it is pre-internet. There are so many intermediaries that are not needed. So the farmers are always the weakest link, and also somehow the buyer. So we designed a new supply chain with less links, where every link adds value. So this is part of the whole system. So you can also enjoy the specialty coffee they are producing thanks to your contributions to the platform.
Amazing. Very cool. I like that. And thank you for those links, both of you. I will put the website link for EthicHub and the socials that you mentioned as well in the description box below for the viewers. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on and talk about EthicHub. All the best with the continued growth with the farmers, the investors, and the rest. And let's follow up in the near future.
Thank you very much for inviting, and all the best.